Hello everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope that week is off to a good start. It's another beautiful day here in South Alabama. A bit frigid, especially for this time of the year. We woke up in the 30s this morning, but I won't complain because this is the last cold spell of the year and I will be in just sweltering temperatures here before too long. But anyway, I wanted to talk about making bad choices on raw food diet today. I do videos every day. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so YouTube will keep you subscribed to the channel. Bad choices on a raw food diet, or making better choices on a raw food diet, should be the more positive spin to it. And listen, it'll go back to something I talk about all the time. I think it goes back to people making poor choices a lot of times. Well, people make poor choices for a lot of reasons. We all make poor choices for a lot of reasons. But a lot of the poor choices on the raw food diet that I see are simply because of the label, about the obsession with the label. You know, you've bought into the religion of the holy temperature of 118. You've been convinced by people. And listen, I'm not throwing raw under the bus, but let me state for anybody that it's your first time wandering in here that I feel my best when I eat 100% raw. There's no doubt about that whatsoever, but you know, not everybody is going to be in the same circumstances at the same time all the time. So people make these bad choices because they just want to hang on to that label. Well, I ate raw. Yeah, but what did you eat raw today? And it all goes back to focusing on our health, more so than this label of what we're putting into our body. Are we part of the club? Are we part of the fully raw club? Well, there's a lot of people in that fully raw club that aren't really all that healthy, in my opinion. No, that's not to say there's not a lot in that fully raw club that are very, very healthy, and that I'm like, whoa. Now that person is obviously, look, I'm sorry, I'm very visual. I'm very visual, and I'm pretty good at reading all kinds of situations, all kinds of people. I look at these raw food people, the raw vegans, whatever you want to call them, and I know who's healthy. I know who's eating how they say they're eating. I know ones that are eating a balanced way, a full way, because you can just look at them. You can look at them. You know, that whole, oh, everybody's body is differently. Well, maybe to a certain extent, but we are of the same species, and if we eat the species specific diet that we should be, yeah, things are, you know, you're going to see a certain level of health in people. That's just how it is. So the bad choices tend to come from people wanting to stay true to that label, no matter what. And that, like I say, that just, there's so many things that can be considered, you know, can be considered part of a raw food diet, and staying within the parameters and the rules to be within there. The fat, let's just go to the culprit altogether there. People sacrifice by eating gobs and gobs of fat so much of the time, and that's not the only thing that people do that make what I consider a bad. They're eating raw, but I think they've made a poor choice eating that raw over eating something cooked, and it's usually in those situations it's fat. It's fat. I see a lot of I see so many people they're so proud, and they have a running total on how many days they've been a fully raw vegan, and then I see some of their recipes. I mean, anytime I see, and once again, we're talking in general. I could blow it off the charts with fat sometime too, but I'm talking about on a regular basis. I'm talking about when you're eating recipes that call for half a cup of cashews 2, 3, 4 times, sometimes 5 times a week. You're eating avocado mixed in there. You're eating this mixed with that, mixed with this, mixed with that. You're throwing the almond butter in there. Well, that's a whole different ball game. Like I say, nothing, you know, I'm okay with eating higher fat things, you know, every once in a while, kind of as more of a treat, but then that's not every day, you know. So that to me is always a poor decision, is eating something very, very heavy and fatty. We're talking once again on a regular basis, not talking about having just a meal that you enjoy from time to time, but on a regular basis, choosing that fat, heavy nut-based recipes, dressings, sauces, over, say, simple steamed or clean whole plant food, whether it's even if you're going starches, whether it's sweet potatoes or whether you're, whether Brussels sprouts, broccoli. I think of some of the lighter stuff I like to have. I'm gonna tell you, I'm sorry, it's just like, what did I have last week? It was just pretty much all, it was an odd, oh, I know what it was. I had cabbage, I had steamed cabbage, I had I had boiled cabbage, steamed beet, and steamed rutabaga. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't put any oil, I didn't put hardly, I don't know if I put anything. I think I sprayed a little Bragg's aminos on there. I'm sorry, that was cooked, that was steamed, but I'll take that choice any day of the week over something that I'm using half a cup of nuts in. Or once again, I'm not afraid of fat. I like to eat fat sometimes, but on a regular basis. I much prefer a very clean cooked meal like that rather than, say, a super heavy raw meal. So, let's just make the best choices. Let's make the best choices and forget about this raw versus cooked all the time until you're ready to be. And listen, once you get into a place, if you can do it, do it. Do it. I don't ever want to be, I kind of sound contradictory in my message, but all I'm trying to be is practical. Like I've said many times before. Many people are just, they're not going to be fully raw. They're never going to be fully raw because of just themselves, their circumstances, whatever. And, and now that I've been in the States for 8 months, I've seen it's just not that fun in some circumstances, or maybe you just don't, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I would always say that the fully raw is going to, if you can do it, for heaven's sake, yeah, do it. But work your way towards it too. That's another thing, and I'll kind of finish off with this thought process. A lot of times people probably would end up getting to fully raw or almost fully raw, but they're just kind of too stubborn to take those steps in between. In other words, and a lot of time it's just their mind's not ready for it. You could be ready, you could do this whole thing, you could transition in, be fully raw in about a month. Physically, the mind is the rest of it, everything. But as you move on and on and on and do this longer and longer, your body will crave these cleaner foods. And if you eat clean, I know what I was about to say there for a minute. If you focus on eating clean, cleaner cooked food will get you further down the road than this heavy fat-laden, too many products, too many ingredients, processed raw food. Because a lot of times too, you're using things in that raw food, or maybe not, just something else to throw in. Like I said, maybe you have more complicated raw food versus simple, clean, cooked food. I know I do that when I eat my sweet potatoes and whatever. But anyhow, I'm just rambling, throwing a whole lot of different scenarios out there. Basically, always make the cleaner choice. Always make the cleaner choice. Revert back to that basic plant-based 101 that was laid down, by these guys that are the pioneers. T. Colin Campbell, Caldwell Esselstyn, and the Dr. Greger. Just go back to that science, that solid plant-based science of low-fat whole foods. That's so much more important. The low-fat whole foods is so much more important, in my opinion, than whether it's raw or whether it's cooked. But never going to discourage you. If you can work towards doing that fully raw thing, it'll have you feeling amazing. I know it works for me. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.